The Yellow Brick Road. This video does not reflect the actual views of real people. These are actors playing a role to entertain audiences. No persons or animals were harmed in the making of this video. Gosh, I love YouTube and I love Google.
Welcome to this.
I'm James.
My government name is James, the one I was not given a choice. And this is Jordan.
Yay. I'm so happy when I hear my own name said. Speaking of my own name, Jordan Peterson, a guy who says stuff.
A guy? Who?
He was a professor of psychology at some Canadian place.
Great job.
Yeah. This is him talking about identity.
Yeah, public figure. Yeah.
They know who he is.
Oh, who's they? Whatever.
They.
Yeah, they. Yeah.
The guys that are always watching.
The guys I watch through my window every night. Once you creep onto the ideas that are forbidden, they pay attention.
Operation Truman Show.
I'm not saying that.
Anyways, Jordan Peterson, he's pretty well known for being anti... What?
Making sense. I'm sorry.
Nah. He says some stuff that makes sense.
I'm kidding. I mean, I would say like very anti, how would I say, against like the... I don't want to call it cult. Maybe I could call it culture. As far as transgender community, he says things that that would clash with their ideas, I would say, and or other things such as gender pronouns and
he says a lot of stuff that makes sense. Like they shouldn't be creating legislation to
stop
certain language,
it's
or to make someone say certain.
It's contradictory.
Yeah,
it's like you're not respecting how I feel, so I'm now make it a law. So now you are forced to respect how, it's like, whoa. Now you're asserting yourself.
Or even forced to say it.
Like, you're angry at someone asserting themselves and their ideals and beliefs onto you, but you can do it back? Like, what is this?
That sounds like some government opportunity to, like, alright, this generation's coming up and they want to be like this, so let's get on it now, and then they'll be okay with when we start bombing Middle Eastern countries. They'll be okay with it because we changed this rule over here.
You could think of it like an alcoholic beverage with a cork. And you went shake, and then eventually pop. And there's an overflow, and then it settles. I believe right now we're in the overflow. Pop.
Yeah.
No, and then eventually it may happen again until everyone starts on that journey.
Okay. So there is a lot of... I wouldn't say a lot. There's stuff that I agree with Jordan Peterson on, but...
From what we heard.
Identity is not one of them.
No, it is not.
It sounds...
It's a collective.
It sounds existentially silly.
I would agree with that.
Like, if you're an existentialist, it just sounds wrong.
Yeah.
You can, without even, like, studying it, you can intuitively be like, there's something wrong with what he just said right there.
It's very, like, even though... I'll get into that later. Just contradicting.
Alright, let's do it. Random jump cut.
I said that the law now builds in social constructionist doctrine into the fabric of the law. That's not the same thing. Obviously, the law regulates property rights and all of that.
Creepy.
To some degree, those are social constructions, although not to the degree that she claims. But this is a whole different thing. This builds in a philosophy of identity. And one of the things it builds in, for example, is the claim that identity is only subjectively defined. And that's...
The claim that...
It is. It is.
What is the claim?
That...
identity is...
subjectively defined.
Mm-hmm.
Which it is.
How so?
If I start calling you Bob all of a sudden, like, hey Bob... Constantly, everyone in the world starts calling you Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Does it change that you're James?
No, it does not change.
Who establishes who is James?
Me. Myself.
Yes. Even if your parents gave you the name, do you still choose to identify as James?
Yeah, it's a choice, yeah.
Okay, so when your parents start calling you Bob, I start calling you Bob, you go to the grocery store, The cashier's calling you Bob. Everyone's calling you Bob. They fucking tattoo Bob on your chest. They give you a fucking nameplate that says Bob across right here.
Prison?
Yeah.
Fuck.
In a way you are. But if everyone's calling you Bob, that's sort of some sort of torture, right? You're like, I'm fucking James, okay?
Depends.
Yeah. Nonetheless.
It's an internal decision that was already made and or is being made that I am James.
Yes.
And nothing can change that.
You chose James.
Unless I want it to.
Unless if you change it, that's up to you still.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like...
However, there are many things that cannot be changed. For later.
Yes. Yes. Alright, so I disagree on that point.
That.
On Jordan Peterson's point.
Ah.
On the other Jordan. He's the other Jordan now. I'm Jordan, he's the other Jordan.
Well, you are the what?
He's Canadian Jordan.
Yin and yang, you guys could be.
They got bad. I had to look down.
Look right in. It says that your identity is whatever you think it is. Well, let me tell you, as a practicing psychologist, that's absolute rubbish. Your identity, look, when children are 2 years old, that's what they think. They think that their subjective reality is everything. And what you do is you socialize them between the ages of 2 and 4 to adopt an identity that's part of a cultural negotiation. It's like...
Okay.
Whoa.
So what you're saying is if I imprint something on you when you're 2 years old, like that's the way the world works then. We all agreed that you're Bob now.
Right. Whoa.
When you're 2 years old, we're like, this is Bob. Everyone, Bob. It's a social contract. Or a contract.
Contract or construct?
Both.
Okay. Ah.
I was going for contract, but
whatever. Same. Well, yeah.
So just because the collective imprinted on a little kid,
the collective, makes an imprint.
It means it's his identity now. He has to take that identity.
Yeah, the internal must absorb and adapt.
So
absolutely, absolutely not.
Absolutely rubbish.
Rubbish. Globalists. Yeah, I don't think so.
God damn it, Canada.
Now why?
Why? Why is that bullshit?
Why is that bullshit?
Let's say you want to be James. After the whole world was imprinting Bob on you.
Okay.
Like, I want to be James.
Yeah. Simple as that.
Your identity is part of a cultural negotiation. It's partly the game you play and partly the game that I play with you. And I have to be a voluntary participant in that. And not only is it not subjectively defined, which detaches it entirely.
Okay, he said voluntary participant in that.
Then he said you have to. I have to. Like, what do you mean? What?
It's like,
well, ready? You're in gym class. Voluntary participation, everybody. Jordan, you're playing whether you like it or not. Participate.
Voluntarily sounds like a choice. Choice sounds subjective. Doesn't sound objective at all. That sounds like an internal choice thing going on there. Whatever.
Wait, hold up. The gang signs he's throwing up right there.
Ottawa.
By the way, from the underlying biological and the underlying objective reality, making any claim you want for your subjective identity valid. The other thing it does is...
the computer's reading his
It
thoughts.
completely obliviates the idea that identity is actually a pragmatic entity. Like if you're
I want to hear
pragmatic.
that. I want to hear that a little bit.
Yeah.
identity valid. The other thing it does is it completely obliviates the idea that identity is actually a pragmatic entity. Like if you're a lawyer or a father or a mother, like an identity that has some solidity to it. Say, well, for most lawyers anyways. So, sorry. I couldn't help it.
We're used to it.
Your identity is also
I don't know if that was a cue to help him have more time to think or something. It's like, sorry, joke. Everyone laughs. That takes time. He's like, okay, what am I going to say now?
I don't know. Maybe he veered. Maybe he feels like as if he veered off. I don't know. Like constantly, like rambling.
Rewind a little bit.
most lawyers anyways. So, sorry. I couldn't help it.
We're used
But anyway,
to it.
your identity is also a vehicle within which you travel through life, right? It's a set of tools, a set of pragmatic tools that you use to interact with the social and the natural world.
Something that's internal.
It's not
Yes.
only your subjective whim. So
It is.
So
It is.
My identity is something that. Wait, is he
Subjective whim. Of course it is. Doesn't mean like if someone identifies as a tiger and starts living in the fucking jungle that they're not going to get eaten or something by some actual tiger. That's not excluding that. You have to accept that they believe that as a personal thing, as their identity. I identify as a fucking tiger.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's saying. It's really weird. It's like very contradicting. I don't see how.
Yeah. Go back just a little bit.
right, it's a set of tools, a set of pragmatic tools that you use to interact with the social and the natural world. It's not only your subjective whim. So, okay, and with regards to the science, it's like,
Give him a shot.
really? I can give you just one example, and I'll stop with this, and hopefully I can do it quickly. The idea of gender identity, which is only defined subjectively in the relevant law, has been studied intensively by personality psychologists such as myself. In fact, my lab has done some of the, I wouldn't say the most fundamental research on it, but we're in the ballpark. Here's a little story. Okay, so the differences between personality between men and women are basically what constitutes gender identity, insofar as it's not merely subjective. And one of the things that's happened is that as the Scandinavian countries have equalized their political and sociological landscape, the differences in identity between men and women have got larger, not...
Thoughts?
He's saying the differences between men and women when it comes to identifying themselves is an actual objective thing. Like women think of themselves as dress, pink, high heels,
And men are
jeans,
hunter-gatherer,
combat boots, guns,
sports, sexually dominant.
and just that is like it's a fucking loose leaf paper that you drop down a hallway and just goes. It's just simple as
It's
shit.
like little
where
breadcrumbs.
a breeze can move it around any which way
I
it
was going
wants.
to say, like little breadcrumbs on the table when you're talking, and you just go, "Oh, what a lovely day," and the breath just sweeps it away, and it's never to be seen ever again.
It's like,
Very easily.
all to do is say, "Proof. Where's your proof?" That'll turn into check back, watch our knowing and believing video. As in, you can't even tell someone's fucking favorite color. You can't scientifically.
You can't tell me you know.
You can't scientifically put that in a vacuum and say this is what it is.
Like the logic behind it is,
Let alone
Like
know
this.
it, understand an entire woman.
our evidence says that 97% his favorite color is green. Therefore, his hair color is green. Wrong.
I need a soundboard too.
We could just have Joe like right there and go like press like part of his face. Like he's like. All right.
I used to do the Pillsbury Dough thing
Pillsbury Doughboy.
to should I say his name? Takazi. I won't say his actual name.
I was told. I was told never to say his name.
Just call him Kazi. The world will know.
You mean he fell, right?
That guy that fell.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Kazi. I've fallen too, and I didn't have skates on.
Smaller. Do you understand that? That's a refutation of the social constructionist claim. So what happens is that if you flatten out the landscape so that there are very few socioeconomic differences, say, or sociological differences in the treatment between men and women, what happens is the biological difference maximizes. It maximizes. You understand? That means men and women get more different, not more the same. And the thing about women in the audience, bloody...
That's... What does that mean?
I mean, just because I have a dick and you have no dick, and
He's saying when you balance out the sociological
yeah.
things like, work, jobs, payment, things like that, and you balance it out.
Or everything on the surface.
Their
yes.
physical attributes, I guess, change, separate even further. Women's tits get bigger or something.
Yeah.
Men's dicks get bigger.
Yeah. Not only do the things on the surface change, other things on the surface change. Therefore, you are different.
So, in order for that to be like concrete, then all those women had to recognize as men, and all those men had to recognize as women. Because maybe, who knows? Maybe the thoughts can affect your body. Maybe their boobs stay smaller when they're like, "I'm really a man inside." Who knows?
Like, I think I'm
Or
like Tom Cruise. Like,
or if you check our video on masculine and feminine, did that work?
seems like a Ponzi scheme. Check out our video and you'll
In
find
fact,
out.
bigger boobed, bigger hips, and all that is more of a masculine expression than a feminine
It's
one.
very outward and
It's very
in your face.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
the ring card
I wonder why.
girls.
And begs the question why it's now like so. Ugh. How'd I say? It's like too much, just too much of this. What's going on? Like what? No one looks like that, you know? Like a cartoon, like Jessica Rabbit. Anyways,
Hell, you should.
Jessica Rabbit? What the fuck is that?
Roger Rabbit,
Ah, alright.
Jessica Rabbit. She's like
The wife or something?
the completely hourglass shaped woman.
Oh,
Who's like,
okay.
I'm a woman,
Okay.
and I am beautiful. Boom, boom.
I was like,
boom.
he wasn't one of another rabbit. He was
One
one
of
of
the
the cartoon girl.
A heavily sexualized cartoon.
Yeah.
Think about this, because don't you want to pursue the things that you're interested in? And
Fuck! Don't you want to pursue the things you're interested in? Meaning, you have a dick, so you're interested in this. Don't you want to pursue those things?
Yeah, someone's telling me, okay, ready? Yes. A German boy is born. His name shall be Frederick.
As I delete all my metric songs from my
You have choices
iPod.
here.
Yep, gotta go.
I wonder what his
Go.
the mother's. I wonder what his ambitions would be. No problem, Fraulein. Yes. Choices of soccer and/or football, baseball, anything sports related except hockey.
In gymnastics.
We'll consider it. Come back in our dream department later.
Alright, onward.
you pursue the things that you're interested in, because you're interested in different things than men. I'm telling you. And
Oh my
if
God.
you look at the interest,
Pause it
if you look
right
at the
now.
interest
Pause
variation, this has been established.
Yes, because Rose Namajunas, right, doesn't like fighting, doesn't want to pursue fighting, and there's no way Habib Nurmagomedov likes combat and fighting. There's no way. They like different things. There's no way. Absolutely. Nope. No.
It's
No
different.
way.
It's
No
different,
way.
man.
Absolutely.
But she has a vagina. So even if they do like fighting, they like fighting for different reasons.
Exactly.
One is like, I'm trying to, show that I'm the best female to reproduce, so I can cook and clean for some guy, and bring him beer. See, I'm the best at it. With these lefts and rights. Onward.
Technically, if you look at the interest variation, there's almost no overlap between men and women if you sum up the differences in interest and temperament. I mean,
He knows
I've been
everybody.
thinking about the pronouns.
Yeah, cut
thing,
off there.
Because one of the things that people, it's put me back on my heels for a while, because the claim was basically, well, it's something like, why doesn't the mean professor just play nice and respect people by using their pronouns? And it took me like 3 weeks to unpack that, because who gets questioned about pronoun use? I don't know why the hell I use the pronouns I use. I use them because they're part of the language. I use he and she because that's what everyone uses. And so then I had to think about, well, why do we in fact use pronouns? And we use them in part for the same reason that we use other categories, and that's to simplify the world for functional purposes, roughly speaking. But then I was thinking, well, is the use of he and she a mark of respect? And the answer to that is, well, no, it's not a mark of respect. It can't be a mark of respect. What you call 4 billion people can't be a mark of respect, right? It's a mark of basic categorization. And so then the claim comes up, well, If someone wants you to use a particular pronoun, then you're disrespecting them if you don't. It's like, okay, let's think that through a bit. Well, that assumes that when I'm using he or she for people, in normal parlance, that I'm actually indicating my respect for them.
I sort of agree with him on this stuff. So you're just some normal dude, like, hey, what's up, man? Why'd you call me man? Like, 'cause he's just some guy, man. trying to ask you for directions.
Yeah, it's a social.
Say, hey, you.
It's taking a little bit too far in a way. It's like, hey, what's up, dude? Why'd you call me dude? Like, I like this. I remember, I was with some friends. Like, what's up, guys? There's a girl. She's like, what? I'm like, calm down. All right. Everyone has to understand there's a common social understanding of what words are being used. Like, what's up, dude? What's up, bro? Or whatever, It's like,
now, if it's like an application or some sort of official thing, like an application or something, where it's like Mr. or Mrs. or Miss or whatever, then I'm like, all right, man, I understand that.
Oh yeah.
They're trying to be proper, so I understand them using the right or the pronouns that are wanted to be used. Granted, if you have whatever he says, like 70-something different pronouns, like you got to give people time to catch up, or give them courtesy to be like, all right, you're not going to memorize all this shit, so I understand if you fuck up on this thing. But what he's saying about just saying like he or she, it's like a non-thing for most people, I think. Unless,
most people I've seen, they
if you see like a beard and shit, they're like he. They're just saying that just to get through that, just to make some sort of point. Or say, like, hey man. Say, I recognize the woman. I haven't had the surgery yet, but I recognize the woman. Like, oh, sorry.
All right.
It's like no problem.
Listen, man.
Hey man. Down with little Eichmann. Yeah.
And that's not true. It's like if I don't know you, I classify you generically, and basically I classify you in terms of how you present yourself publicly. I suppose that's your gender expression. And then I nail you with whatever pronoun seems to fit. It has nothing to do with respect. And besides that, you bloody well don't get to demand my respect. Why should you? It's not like I respect everyone.
They get to demand it. You don't have to give it. But they can demand it.
It's a foolish thing to do. You respect people who are respectable. You make value distinctions between people, and that doesn't mean you illegally discriminate against them. Those aren't the same thing. But I'm all for value judgments. If you don't buy value judgments, then why bother learning anything? Why bother doing anything? Why go from one point in your life to another if the next point isn't better in some manner? So don't tell me that I'm not respecting people when I don't use their gender pronouns. And the other thing is, I don't buy this whole idea that the people who are putting this legislation forward are valid representatives of the trans community. That's what they say they are. We have mechanisms for deciding whether someone's a valid representative of a community, and that generally involves democratic voting. I've received at least 20 letters from transsexual people who are on my side, and by the way, 0 from others, believe it or not, who are perfectly happy with the idea of gendered pronouns. It's just they want to be the other one. Now, you can have a discussion about that, and there's lots of things to be said about it, but the idea that this community that's coming out and demanding these rights is somehow representative of this homogenous oppressed minority, I think is rubbish. I said
rubbish. I understand, as long as, I'm also saying, he wasn't aware of this or that, but
like I said,
as far as if
they would have to
if
allow
you're aware,
some sort of grace period.
If you're aware and you purposely assert, no, I'm going to call you a dude, because that's how I see you. You're a dude.
Yeah.
That's
silly. Yeah. And you could, if he does, I'm not sure if I don't think he actually does that.
No. But I'm saying, I was making
that would fall in line with his definition of identity.
Sure.
It's imposed from the outside.
Sure. It's like this. It's like a video I showed you of Shapiro and a bunch of other people who assume that are well known within communities of such. And there was a transgender person, and he kept calling this person a man, even though they wanted to be identified as a woman.
I don't think you showed me that.
I did.
I don't remember it.
Well, anyway, he kept asserting no, he's a man, and then it got silly. it was already silly to begin with, but it got yikes.
I think is he like a religious guy, Shapiro?
I don't know. He claims he is.
That seems like that would.
He
fall.
claims he follows a religion. That's what from what I hear and what I saw.
To me, that seems like it would fall into that religious category where they're overly fundamentalist. But all right, any closing thoughts on Peterson? Oh, on this thing, this one spec of Peterson's.
I don't know, man. I feel like he puts up some good points, but at the same time, there's like a glaring, obvious glaring like problem with one specific thing. He says that their identity is given. This is yours.
Yeah.
These are the selections. These select few that you may choose from, or not even select few, but that's relative to what. But these are your choices. You know, it's like no.
Yeah.
There's endless.
His
Endless.
existentialism, intelligence would be low just based on that.
Based off what we see.
That sort of spoils.
Based off what we see. Yes.
He could be saying some other stuff that might sound correct, but if you say that right there, it means the whole pool is fucked up.
Sure.
And then on the social ladder, he sounds pretty intelligent on that level to me. You shouldn't be legislating, laws.
Yeah, it's also very telling. It's also very telling when someone says objective and subjective in such a way where it's. Have you looked at what those mean?
No, I think straight up academia.
Well, I'm just saying.
That's how he understands it.
Listen. Yeah.
He could know what they mean.
I'm saying if someone like that has used that, or has he? Didn't he?
Yeah. I just don't think he's challenged the idea of objectivity.
Okay, well that's what I'm getting.
You can hear that based on his definition.
That's what I'm getting at. If someone's like the meaning of this word doesn't make sense, and then that would possibly lead them towards,
Well, I think he's neglecting the self, the individual, based on the identity fucking thing.
Yeah.
And also the objective, subjective. Mm-hmm. So, that's what we got. I challenge you, other Jordan from Canada.
You challenge Jordan Peterson to debate?
Yeah. He won't, but...
Anytime, any place, preferably under the flagpole at 3 o'clock.
We're gonna race mountain bikes.